guys, welcome back to Callie and Beans Books. I'm Brittany. I'm doing another Bookmas video. So it's filming day at Callison's, that's why I'm in front of her bookshelf and not mine. And I'm going to be doing my anticipated reads for 2020. I've got a couple here and there throughout the year. My list actually ends in August though, so there's nothing really that's really jumping out at me for fall yet. So without further ado, here we go. So one that hasn't been actually officially announced on what date is Melissa Albert's Tales from the Hinterland. We read Hazelwood as our October book of the month, and so I'm filming this right after we got done reading that book. So I'm really looking forward to not only those tales, but her sequel. The sequel to Hazelwood, The Night Country, that comes out January 7th, also obviously by Melissa Albert. This one kind of dives back into Alice's adventures with dark fairy tales, and we see Ellery Finch again, and it just kind of dives back into the dark fairy tales, and I'm really excited to see where this is going. I'm really happy that we have a sequel. Even though Hazelwood kind of tied up in a nice little bow, we get the sequel, so I'm really excited to dive back into dark fairy tales. So the next book I'm anticipating in January is called Throw Like a Girl by Sara Henning, and it comes out also on January 7th. As I read the description, it sounded very Brittany book-like. It follows a girl who is a softball player. She has a scholarship lined up to her fancy private school, but during one game she decides to punch another girl and is kicked off her softball team, loses her boyfriend, and loses all of her teammates. So she transfers to another high school, and in that she has a plan to get onto the softball team, so she kind of redeems herself, and in that she meets the quarterback of the football team, and he has a plan while he's injured to get her to be the quarterback of the football team, and as soon as he's healthy he can take his quarterback role back, and that's her way of getting back on the softball team. So it's really interesting. I'm huge into sports. I love football, so I'm really excited to see how this story kind of takes place. And also kind of reminds me of She's and the Man in a way, but football instead of soccer and softball and all that. So we'll see how that goes. Next book I'm looking forward to comes out on January 14th, and it's Dark and Deepest Red by Anna Marie McLemore. And it follows this girl who gets these ruby red slippers on her one day, and it's kind of a historical fiction based on witches, where the year is 1518, and a group of women are caught in the forest dancing, and then they suddenly die. And then it fast forward to 2018, where this girl gets ruby red slippers on her, and another person. It kind of starts the cycle all over again, and it follows these two characters as they're trying to figure out what witchcraft started this and how do they break this curse. So I'm looking forward to it, mostly because the cover is really pretty and the plot seems a little interesting and a little unique to me. I've also noticed that 2020 is very witch heavy, and I'm not sure if that's just because it's a new trend, but I'm digging it. I like witches, and there's a lot of unique ways you can do witches, so let's see how this goes. The last book in January that I'm looking forward to comes out on the 21st, and it's Tweet Cute by Emma Lord, and this is a contemporary that's coming out, and it's the first one that I'm looking forward to in January. It follows two teens that are very active in Twitter, but they aren't meant to like each other. One is tweeting for the biggest subs company, and another one is a local subs shop social media person, and they kind of get into this huge feud after the big corporate steals the little local sub shop's grilled cheese sandwich recipe. So they get into Twitter feud, and secretly they are talking to each other on this anonymous app, and they're falling for each other on this app, not knowing that they're actually in a feud on Twitter, and they know each other in real life, so it's kind of all complicated how they know each other, but I'm digging it because I love social media, so let's see if I actually enjoy it where it comes to light in a contemporary book. So jumping into February, I have a couple of books that I'm looking forward to. The first is The Stars We Steal, which comes out on February 4th by Alexa Donne, and the cover is really pretty. That's what kind of caught my eye, and it's like a contemporary fantasy and Princess Leo. It's engagement season, so she's trying to find a husband, and one of the suitors is actually her childhood best friend that she fell in love with, but her family didn't see him as a suitable husband for her, so he's in the running, but it kind of comes into the past and regret, and it kind of follows her trying to figure out if this is who she really wants to be with or if there's somebody else that she can fall in love with. But mostly I'm looking forward to it because of the cover, because I'm an awful person. So another book in February that I'm looking forward to is The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller, and it comes out on the 25th of February. I didn't realize that this is the same author that Sara and Callison went to see, and they were telling me about it, and I was really interested in the book, kind of forgot about it until I was doing my own list for this, and kind of read the description. The first thing it says is that Alexandra is sick of being overlooked, and she has her own plan to gain power. 1, woo the king. 2, marry him. And then 3, kill him and take his power. That sounds amazing. And then we were talking about our anticipated reads, and that's when Callison just said it was described as a love story for Slytherins, and hello, that's amazing. So I'm looking forward to this book. I'm sure that at least Callison and I will buddy read it, and I'm really excited. So the first book in March that I'm looking forward to is When We Were Magic by Sarah Gailey, and it comes out on March 3rd, and it's about Alexis and her friends, and Alexis is a witch, but she's trying to hide her powers until prom. There's a boy that ends up dead, so the girls are trying to kind of fix the situation and make it so that magic isn't all of a sudden alive and well. And it was just very interesting the way the cover is. It draws my eye. And again, kind of going back to the idea that there's a lot of books about witches coming out, but everything seems a little different. I'm looking forward to this just because it's a new take on witches and the idea of trying to hide powers, and it's a contemporary in a way too, so I'm looking forward to it. Another book in March that's coming out is The Vanishing Deep by Astrid Scholte, and she was the author that wrote Four Dead Queens, which was one of my ultimate favorites of 2019, so she became a quick auto-buy author for me. I agree with Callison, I don't really like this cover, but the concept of the book itself sounds really interesting, so I'm looking forward to reading another book by her. I really enjoyed her writing style and the development of the characters and the story. So hopefully this one lives up to the same expectations I had from Four Dead Queens. So in April I have one book that's coming out that I'm looking forward to, and it's Clickbait by Valett, and it comes out on April 28th, and it's about two girls. One of them is her life is ruined by the popular kids at their high school, so her best friend decides to infiltrate this group by changing her entire wardrobe. She goes from t-shirts and jeans to designer clothes. She takes everything off of her social media to do with her best friend and kind of dives in deep with the popular kids to kind of ruin them from the inside out. It kind of reminded me of Pretty Little Liars, One of Us is Lying, and Mean Girls, all kind of tied into one. So I'm interested to see if it's more of like a mystery thriller or if it's just a contemporary badass book. We'll just kind of see. And so in May, my most anticipated book of 2020 is coming out, and that's Aurora Burning by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. Comes out on the 5th, and this is the sequel to Aurora Rising, which again was one of my favorites of 2019, and it's just going to be one of those that I will be going to Barnes & Noble right away, picking it up. Hell, I might even pre-order it, and I'm not a huge pre-order fan, so yay! I can't wait. So the next book in May that I'm looking forward to is House of Dragons by Jessica Cluess, and this comes out on May 12th. It's about 5 houses that are fighting for the throne, and each house has a different characteristic to them, and they're a liar, a soldier, a servant, a thief, and a murderer, and each of these houses put up their oldest child to fight for the throne, and each of them have their own desire and reason why they're fighting to win for this. And I mean, come on guys, it's dragons. So that's the main reason why this book kind of caught my eye. So we'll see if if it's about dragons or if that's just kind of like what they're describing the entire character list to be. So that's my other anticipated read for May. So in June, Greythorne by Crystal Smith is coming out. It's on the 2nd, and I was excited about it. especially with this cover. It's really pretty. As you can see, it's kind of very similar to Bloodleaf, only green. However, they went and did this to it, and it took the excitement away a little bit. Not necessarily because the story's gonna change, but because the cover doesn't match the other one, and I'm weird like that. Sorry. But either way, I wasn't a huge fan of Bloodleaf. I enjoyed it, so I'm hoping that Greythorne takes the story to the next level and kind of explains some things that I missed in Bloodleaf. However, it can't get over this cover change. I'm really hoping that maybe they'll change their minds and go back, but I highly doubt it, so you never know. A girl can dream, right? Another book that's coming out in June is a contemporary that I'm looking forward to. It's called Reconnected by Catherine Tinker. This comes out on June 18th, and it kind of is about two teens that were friends in middle school, but they were online friends, and something happens where they don't talk anymore until, I believe, the senior year. They reconnect in person, only the boy doesn't realize that the girl he's connecting with is his middle school friend. She realizes it right away. So it's one of those stories where everything is there but it's not, and I don't know what it is. I really like that kind of trope where it's friends online meet in person, but one doesn't know that it's the other person kind of thing. There's a couple of those books that are coming out in 2020. I'll actually talk about those in a different video that I'll be doing a little bit later in January. I'll be going through the full list of contemporary and adult romance books I'm looking forward to, so keep an eye out for that. So the last book for right now that I'm looking forward to for 2020 comes out on August 31st, and it's Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. And if you have watched our channel long enough, you know that Callison and I loved Serpent and Dove. So we're really looking forward to the sequel. It's going to take that story to the next level. We're a little worried about how it's going to end. Right now it is a duology. I know I'm hoping for more. I'm really hoping that they expand it a little bit more than just a duology. I know that Serpent and Dove was a long book to begin with. I'm hoping that we get just as much from Blood and Honey, and that we'll follow more of the side characters in that one. What I'm hoping it isn't is that it's just a different perspective from the same storyline. But either way, it's up there with my most anticipated release for 2020. Alright everyone, that's it for my anticipated reads for 2020. Keep an eye on our channel. We're posting every day for Bookmas. We'll be posting videos until the 24th, and then we're going to take a break until the start of 2020. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to find us on Instagram. Our individual handles and our joint account is linked below, as well as our Goodreads. Until next time.